These two were sold. One for 80 million and one for 2 million. But that didn't matter, because we brought in Ousmane Dembélé, who has the balance of a, well, Dembélé. Coming off a historic title, we can now put all our focus on getting the Champions League. But first, some signings. You all know about Salahuddin Seba already, so I won't talk about him. But we brought Alan and Ghassan back to the club, as we bought him over broke Nantes.
Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
El Hadji Malik Diouf, the left back with the longest name in football, joined us for 38 million from Aston Villa, as well as Igo Ogbu for 15.25 million from Brighton. And finally, Sharon Dur and aforementioned Dembélé also joined the club on free transfers. And the players out were the mentioned Namaso and Renato Sanchez, as well as a retired Nathan Ake, a contractless Sanusi, an end-of-loan Ouedraogo, an angry Akliouche left for Alaves, and finally another angry lad in Victor Nantumbo left for Chelsea for 40 million. Before starting our season, both Sa and Seba twisted their ankles, so they're out for a month. And before starting our title defense, we won 3-0 against Rennes in the Trophée des Champions to win that trophy for the first time as well. Our title defense started insanely well. We humiliated Monaco 6-1 to open the season, as Okpe got a brace. We continued on the same track the next 3 games, as we smashed Toulouse 6-1, Havre 5-1 and Lyon 4-1. Emega got 4 against Toulouse. Okpe got a hat-trick in 23 minutes against Havre. And then Ghassan got a banger against both Toulouse and Havre, as well as a brace against Lyon. So his return to the club has been nothing short of incredible. But in the 5th game, it was full stop against Nice, and Ghassan once again scored a brilliant goal. But we conceded 5 minutes later to only manage a 1-1 draw. And before our next game, Okpe got announced as Player of the Month for August. And he took that and doubled down, as he scored all 3 goals against Reims to get back to winning ways. Now we've got AC Milan away at the San Siro, a tough away game, where we actually took the lead. Okpe's got a header from El Amrani's great cross, but straight from kickoff we conceded to Den Bogende. Halfway through the second half, they genuinely just outplayed us and scored through Da Silva. But right before the end, Magnan played a horrific pass which Ndour picked up. He played it to Seba, who scored on a wide open goal. So we save a great point away to AC Milan.
Almost just slightly shoulders forward, going there, ready to move.
Against Derry City in the next UCL game, we actually didn't score until the 48th from the spot. But once we got the opener, everything went in. Seba got 1, Emega got 2 and Okpe got 3. So our 3 strikers all got goals. Back to the league, Seba turned up the heat after a rather disappointing start to his campaign. He scored 4 out of 5 goals in the 5-0 win over Montpellier, after working so hard to get to the top of the table. We managed to throw it all away by losing 2-1 to Rennes and drawing 2-2 with Lens. And to make it all even worse, Yassine El Amrani has just been injured on international duty, and he's broken his f***ing leg, so he's out for 3 to 4 months.
Why must you let me suffer?
As if that wasn't enough, we've now got PSG. But it might actually not be that bad, because PSG aren't performing as well as they have been. Gaudin decided to ruin his team's chances just 20 minutes in, as he put in this horror challenge on Okpe to get a straight red. So the rest of the game was a breeze. Maku, Seba, Okpe, and Ghassan and Okpe again got our goals in a 5-1 hammering of PSG. That means that we're in second behind Lille after 10 games. We started absolutely insane and then lost 1 and drew 2 in a short space of time. We are scoring incredible amounts of goals though, so hopefully we can continue with that at least. Away to Porto in the UCL, Okpe hit both posts 4 minutes in. Seba then missed this as he too hit the woodwork. We did score 2 minutes later though, through Okpay. And nothing else happened, so a dull game where we did what we needed to. But in the next UCL game, we definitely didn't do what we needed to. We lost 4-1 to Bayern. They took the lead 2 minutes in, and we never recovered from that. In the league, however, we definitely performed. We smashed Clermont 5-1 and Nantes 4-0 as Mega scored a hat-trick in both games. He's insane, man. Against Marseille in the next game, after an offside goal, we finally scored in the 45th, through none other than Mega. In the 70th and 75th, Seba scored to make it both 2-0 and 3-0. And after a consolation goal for them, we won 3-1 in such an important game for our title chances. We then barely managed to win away to Strasbourg. Okpay got our only goal, which didn't come until the 92nd minute. And before facing our title rivals Lille, we won rather undeservedly 3-1 against Lorient. Seruki, Antwi and Seba got the goals, before going to Lille. We had full control the first 65 minutes or so. Seba, Ingesan and Mega got a goal each to make it a comfortable 3-0 lead. But then Lille woke up and scored in the 72nd. And again in the 85th. But thankfully we held on to just about win 3-2 and get 3 incredibly important points. In the next game we got back to scoring loads, as we beat Troyes 6-1 with Mega getting 2, and that means we're in first at the halfway point. We lead by 2 points down to Nice and 4 down to Lille. PSG have also fallen off big time. They're in 5th, 14 points behind us. So our title win last season might just have done some irreparable damage to our fellow Parisians. As for the final 2 UCL league phase games before the break, we scored loads, just like in the league. We smashed PSV 4-0 as Seba got a hat-trick and an assist. And against Molde, we surprisingly only won 2-0, as 2 of our centre-backs got a goal each from 2 different corners. I have once again been an idiot and forgotten about AFCON. And that really isn't ideal, as we have 11 players leaving to play there.
Wow. Woo! Bravo, you f***ing idiot!
So I brought in 2 players to sort of cover for that. Mohamed Kamara, a right wing-back, and Trevor Chalobah came in on loans from Newcastle and Chelsea respectively. Against Monaco in the 18th league game, we somehow managed to lose 4-3. Marshall scored this outrageous goal. Morton scored this deflected goal which Ekra should save, and Zivkovic scored this pen. We did manage to score to make it 3-3 though. But then Antwi wanted to play some volleyball in a completely unnecessary situation. So he got his second yellow. And that ultimately led to Mac scoring for Monaco as the last thing that happened.
It is so bad, I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1.
And to make matters even worse, Seba managed to get injured in training. He somehow managed to fall so hard on his own arm that he broke it. But he'll have to suck it up and play through it. As if that wasn't enough, we managed to lose 3-0 to Dortmund in the 7th UCL League phase game. We were genuinely shite. But that's not that surprising, considering we're without about 7 of our starters. Before going to North London to face Tottenham in a deciding league phase game, we humiliated Lyon 6-1. Mega got 5 goals in a single game. That's outrageous, and hopefully he can take that to London. We have to win this to get through via the top 8, so it's a massive game. And we take an early lead. Zuma scored this header from Okpay in aftermath of a corner just 13 minutes in. Samu Omorodion then missed 2 huge chances, before Okonkwo pulled off this insane save in the 88th. But from the following corner, Samu Omorodion finally scored. There's a highlight straight from kickoff though, and after a bit of a build-up, Antwi played this lofted ball over to Diouf, who crossed it first time with a volley. And there was Mako to head it into the back of the net. So we managed to win 2-1 away to Tottenham to get through to the round of 16 directly.
Sometimes I stagger even myself with my genius.
Back to the league, we have a huge game for our title chances right away. We take the lead against Nice early through Mako. Just over 20 minutes later, we concede though, as they actually just play some nice football, or some Nice football, haha. Thankfully, Emega managed to score this header from Dembele's corner to get a huge win. Against the Rams in the next game, Okpe decided to score a cool 4 goals. And as Engesan got one as well, we won 5-1. We then just about won 2-1 against Montpellier thanks to a Toumi brace, before smashing Rennes. Emega got a brace and Okpe and Toumi got the other 2 in a 4-0 win. A disappointing game followed that, as we somehow draw 1-1 with Toulouse. We did win the next game though, 3-1 against Lens as Seba got a brace. Those results means that after 25 league games we're still in first, but only by a single point down to Lille, so we need to keep winning. Some brilliant news though, is that Fabian Hürzeler has been sacked by PSG. They've been absolutely horror this season and are currently in 6th, 21 points off the lead. And to add fuel to the fire, they've also just been knocked out of the Coupe de France by Rennes on penalties.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
It's time for the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. We've been drawn RB Leipzig, and I genuinely think we have a chance of getting through. And we showed that in both legs actually. First, we won 1-0 away from home as Emega scored this great header. And second, we took the lead in the second leg through Okpe, before doubling it through Diouf 11 minutes later. And after a consolation goal, we win 2-1 in the second leg and 3-1 in aggregate to make it through to the quarters for the first time in our history. With that confidence, we can hopefully add even more fuel to the fire of PSG. We started by scoring an offside goal through Seba, before we somehow allowed Kvaratskhelia to score a header from a corner. And it took a long time before anything else happened. But we finally scored in the 71st. Kamara won the ball from Renan's poor switch, and then scored a deflected goal to equalize. 14 minutes later though, Gyökeres scored this tap-in to take back the lead. 8 minutes after that again though, El Amrani played Mako through, and he put in a cross for Seba to tap in to equalize again. So we save a very late draw to at least get something from a tough game.
Sometimes if you listen very carefully, you can hear my genius.
After a game with fewer goals than we're used to, we got back to usual figures, as we humiliated both Clermont and Nantes. We beat Clermont 7-0, as Emega got a brace and Seba got a hat-trick. And against Nantes, Emega got yet another brace. But Okpe stole the headlines as he got himself the remaining 4. It's time for the biggest games in our history. We've been Ron Vincent Kompany's Arsenal in the quarterfinals, and we'll play them at home in the first leg. So Arsenal have got a Parisian side in the UCL. Sort of reminds me of something. We take an early lead at home, as Okpe scored this brilliant looping header over Raya and off the bar. After knocking on the door with this post hit from Saka, Arsenal got their goal straight from kickoff in the second half. Havertz scored this tap-in to make it 1-1, which was also the final result. So we have a big task ahead of us at the Emirates. And it started as a nightmare. Mako missed this huge chance, before Odegaard scored this free kick through our wall. We did manage to hit back though, right before the break. Toumi scored a great header from Sa's cross to make it all level going into the break. In the 58th, Toumi put in a cross from a free kick, which met the head of Ngar Noah, who scored. And not even 6 minutes later, Emega scored this deflected goal to get us a 2-goal cushion. But we gave away the ball in the 75th, and Odegaard capitalizes on it to get within a goal. but we hold on to get through to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Back to the league, we just about win 3-2 against Marseille in a huge win. Ngesan, Seba and Emega got our goals, before we humiliated Strasbourg. Well, actually not we, but Emega. He scored all 5 goals, and against his former club as well. That's a bit awkward.
Oh my God! This is what he does! This is what he flipping does! It's illegal!
Either way, those wins means we're still in first with 4 games to go, and we're 4 points clear of Lille in second, and we're also facing them in our next league game. So if we win against them, we've basically secured the title. The reason for lack of Coupe de France highlights is because it's been a very easy journey so far. We won 2-1 against Guingamp in the 9th round thanks to an Emega brace, 4-0 against Lorient in the 10th as Emega got another brace, 4-0 against Metz in the 11th as Dembele got a brace, and finally 2-0 against 4th tier side US St. Malo as Endor and Okpei got a goal each. And now we've got 2nd tier side Dijon in the semis, which we win very easily, 3-0 with Emega scoring 2 and Okpei the final one. So we're back to the Coupe de France final after going out in the semis last year. It's once again time for the biggest games in our history. We've been drawn Barcelona in the semi-final, and we're at home in the first leg. It was a very dull game, except for this highlights basically straight from kickoff. Emega scored this header off the post from Tomi's corner 44 seconds in. And nothing else really happened, so we take a great 1-0 lead with us to the Camp Nou. But before that, we've got Lille in the league, which is the arguable title decider. Just like against Barcelona, we take the lead so early. Okpei scored this tap-in from Seba's pass across 28 seconds in, and in the 17th, Okpei scored his second tap-in to double our lead. But just 7 minutes later, Johannesson's shot hit a post, and Jonathan David scored the rebound. Right before the break, Achu decided to step up when he had a man behind him, so Ndoye easily scored. And as nothing happened in the second half, it ends in a 2-2 draw. It is an okay result, but it's so annoying to lose a 2-goal lead. We're now away at the Camp Nou for the second leg of the semi-final. 2 minutes in, Achu won the ball just into our half. Maku played it first time to Emega, played this brilliant pass through to Okpei, and he was cool, calm and collected one-on-one with their goalie to give us the lead 2 minutes in. After a big save from their goalie, we doubled our lead with this deflected shot from Sa. Ekra then pulled off this insane save before Pedro Porro hit the post with a powerful long shot. We took advantage of their wasted chances and scored another one before the break. And to top it off, Emega scored in the 89th to make it 4. So we humiliate Barcelona 4-0 and 5-0 on aggregate to make our first ever European final. What a game!
Sometimes my genius, it generates gravity.
Lille drew 1-1 with Strasbourg in their 32nd league game. So if we get 4 more points, we've got the title. We got 3 of those 4 points against Troyes, as we smashed them 5-0 with Okpei getting a brace. As long as we don't lose against Lorient now, we've got our second title. We took the lead early through Okpei, before Maku scored to double it in the 66th. But both Zuma and Ekra managed to f*** up defensively, so they got one back. And 4 minutes later, they scored again. I then went super defensive, and that worked. We draw 2-2 with Lorient and we've won our second Ligue 1 title in a row. Let's go! Finally, we won 7-1 against Havre in the final game to sign off in style. And PSG have had such a bad season that they're playing Conference League football next season. Get fucked, PSG! Let's go! We've now got not just one, but two finals. We've got Rennes in the Coupe de France final, in what will be my 400th game in management, which is pretty crazy timing. Ocpace got an offside goal straight from kickoff as Marco was off. Noah then missed a good chance in the 37th. But a minute later, Marco squared it for Ocpace to tap in to take the lead. Shortly after the break, Emega scored this header from Tumi's cross. And finally, Andor won the ball high up the pitch before playing it to Seba, who scored. So we win 3-0 against Rennes to get our third Coupe de France title. And it's also a domestic treble. Finally, it's time for the UEFA Champions League final. We're up against the kings of this competition, Real Madrid. And their way to the final has been as difficult as ours, if not even tougher. They got past City rivals Atletico Madrid in round of 16, thanks to a 90th minute winner from Jude Bellingham. They then humiliated Bayern at the Santiago Bernabeu as Mbappe got 4? Before turning around a 1-0 deficit against Tottenham in the semis. They won 2-1 in the second leg and eventually went through on pens. So it's a difficult side to face. But I have faith. And so do the odds makers, as we're actually slight favorites. It started in the worst way possible though. We gave them the ball at the halfway line, which ultimately led to Bellingham scoring 7 minutes in. Just over 10 minutes later though, Diouf put a low cross into Emega, who scored with a nice finish to equalize. Just over 10 minutes after that again, Ekra came out to box away a cross. But he missed the ball, so it fell into the lap of Rodrigo, who had an easy job of scoring on the wide open goal. The same man also hit the post right before the break, so we need to switch on now. 15 minutes into the second half, Andor missed this decent chance. And right around this time, I brought on some subs, including UC, who I accidentally put on in midfield. But UC didn't care. He got the ball from Andor just ahead of the halfway line and went on a crazy solo run to score. He's equalized from center mid. In the 79th, Noah won the ball in our box and drove with it upfield. After a couple of combination passes, Kamara got the ball out on the right, and he played an incredible ball over the top to Emega, who scored with an even better finish. So we win 3-2 against Real Madrid after an insane comeback. And we won the Champions League. And the quadruple, by the way. What an insane season. And an incredible and fitting way to end this brilliant journey.